now. The second coming, if you will, of the podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, I said we would return. We have returned a little earlier than expected.
Or later than expected.
Phil wanted to venture his opinion on tonight's story, so I said, okay, we'll do another show, and here we are.
And here we are.
So, once again, Min Lights on the Fortean Slip tomorrow night, and heading on over to the Fortean Slip on YouTube. And again, if you enjoy breakdowns, head on over to Parabreakdown. Well, I believe you're posting again, Phil.
Yes, I am. They finally approved my my partnership once again. This is like for the second time. Well, the third if you count the first time. But yeah, so it's still up. They haven't taken it down again. So, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. Of course, I haven't checked it today. Maybe they took it down. You never know. You never can tell.
Can't tell with YouTube. Can't tell at all.
No. They always keep you. They keep you guessing. They keep you on your toes.
That they do.
They make you check like hourly because you never know what they're going to pull out of their hats.
Out of their hats. Indeed.
So
yeah, Phil's back. We've got, well, you already know what the stories are, but we'll go over them again.
That the first, I just got to tell you, I was so enthralled with the first one with the calls, the video.
Yeah.
I didn't get to the other two.
Oh, that's right.
Because the first one just had me. I mean, I had to go back and listen to it. I don't know how many times, but holy mackerel.
All right. So, okay. So, without further ado, I am your host, Richard Allen, and let's do this for the second time tonight. So, the first story, again, is the shooting at Mammoth Cave. The slaying the camper couple who encountered a man at Mammoth Cave in National Park, and the dude started shooting. It's KY. Is that Kentucky?
Yeah, Kentucky. Yeah,
Kentucky. Right. So the couple met the gentleman, went back to their tent, and moments later, they heard gunshots. They dialed 911 and hiked 5 miles back to their car in the parking lot to meet up with the park rangers. Mammoth Cave would like the public to know that there are not any ongoing threats to the park and it's safe to visit. Again, this is a very watered down version of a story that was all over Facebook a few days ago. And again, I could only view the watered down version because the EU is blocking all the big versions, which again, I am totally bitter about.
Well, my understanding, it actually, the report itself, I think, came from the third person.
Right.
He was there in the campground when he saw a man and his son walk by towards the Mammoth Cave. And it was shortly thereafter that he, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but it was shortly thereafter that he heard the shots, and then he saw the man and the boy coming back, and he exclaimed it, it was a Bigfoot, and he shot a Bigfoot and all this. So I don't know who the man and the boy is. I don't know if Rick Dyer has a son. But yeah, but that's there really isn't a lot to the story, to be honest.
No, there isn't. It's I said on the first show that you often hear about hunters in ghillie suits getting shot by people that think they're Bigfoot. There was that couple of furries that were engaged in illicit activity. One of them got shot because they thought he was Bigfoot. You never really hear about people just wandering around randomly shooting and then saying they were shooting at Bigfoot.
That's true.
Doesn't really happen all that much.
I like the furries story.
It's a goat. The person dressed as a goat.
What a way to go.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible.
I don't know. I have never tried it, so to each his own.
To each his home. own. Okay, so our second story again is your video, Phil, 3 minutes 35 seconds of the Oklahoma Bigfoot. I said the first time that you weren't impressed by the quality of the video. You noted the heavy machinery. You said that it was high above the tension lines. You talked about the channel, Curtis Wayfield, about how there was no explanation whatsoever, and how you speculated that it was probably a person, but you didn't think it was a member of the work crew or a friend playing a prank.
Right. The distance is what kind of gets me, because it does look like it's either a logging road, or of some kind on the other side of the gully, and that's quite a ways away. So that's not a bad recording for a cell phone.
It isn't.
Yeah, I mean, when I zoomed in, of course, and enhanced it a bit, and you can actually see something, I don't know, slender, tall, whatever have you, and it's walking down, and it's walking at a pretty good clip downhill.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can only speculate that it's a guy, and if it's a guy, I don't think the one who was recording it
was in on it
or had anything to do with it, just because of the distance and the fact there were some kind of machinery running. It was probably working or what have you. And for a workman to go clear across the gully on the other side of the power line road and all that and up there just to do that, nah. So yeah. Another thing is, by himself. I didn't see anything that looked like any kind of a backpack on him. There was nobody with him. It's very rare that you're going to see somebody just hiking around by themselves out there. Usually,
by myself.
Well, yeah, but you're in Britain, where there's a pub every 2 blocks.
Okay, that is a gross exaggeration.
No, yeah.
It's only a coincidence that there's a pub both in the next town over and the other side,
but yeah, out here, when you're out on these old roads and so forth, you're miles away from anything. So
a farmer went missing a few months ago. It's disappeared completely off the face of the earth.
Really?
Quicksand, they reckon.
Yeah, down in the bogs, or
I live on marshlands on an estuary, so a lot of quicksand and gullies.
It's not good to just go out without, and here again, go out without a buddy. The buddy system has to apply when you're going out and about.
That's true.
But anyway, that was kind of my take. I don't know what it is exactly. More than likely, it's a person. Although there are some indicators telling me that might not be.
Might not be a person.
Might not be a person.
Could be. Might not be.
Could be. Might not be.
Fair enough. Next story comes from Squatchable again. And can I say that Squatchable right now is my lifeline, because it's the only way I can access any Bigfoot news at all. They did let me down this week, however. There were no badly written sighting reports, which, just disappointed me, because I do look forward to those. But apart from that, it's really quality stuff. So this is Matt Squatch's video on the old argument of kill versus no kill. It's 14 minutes, 25 seconds long. He talks about the moral, legal, practical aspects of doing it, as well as going into detail about, apparently the federal government has a law about shooting undiscovered species. You can get fined up to $250,000 and you can spend 10 years in jail. He talked the moral obligation point of killing a Bigfoot is how close is it to humans, or is it an animal at all? He speculated that maybe a government agency is covering up the existence of Bigfoot, and you would make an enemy of those if you were to take one for science. He says he doesn't believe that people would hunt them for sport, but then in the next breath goes on to say that a small number of people would. And he just talks about, kill versus no kill. He comes across as no kill and rounds out his video that way. practically he doesn't know what it would take to kill a Bigfoot.
Howlitzer.
Oh, that was quality right there. That was a good one, Phil.
But I could see 3 reasons why a person would. 1, money. 2, fame. Or 3, you feel fear for your own life. That would be
self-defense was another thing he talked about. I'm doing all this from memory. I deleted all my notes as I go through the show. So,
I mean, if you had something that big or something coming at you and it's snarling and, I think it'd be fully justified in taking it down if you could.
Right.
I mean, if you got a 9mm, and a little ankle holster, you're just going to piss them off. So,
could you take one out with a 38 special?
I think with a headshot, sure.
Well, with a headshot,
yeah. Or at least knock it down for quite a while.
Oh, he also talked about, if they travel in family groups, you would piss off the whole group.
Right.
Which is what happened at Ape Canyon, of course.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. The one they shot the one at one off the cliff.
Yeah.
And then it was later that night that they came for him. But I just can't see any logical or moral reason why a person would deliberately shoot one. I wouldn't. I'm no kill. There's no sense in it. You're not going to eat it. It's not food. You're just killing for killing, and that's not right.
What would you say to those people who would say science demands a body?
Well, the thing is that we don't demand science. I mean, let me put it this way. We don't need science to tell us that Bigfoot exists if we already believe it exists. It's a moot point. It doesn't matter what science says and what science doesn't say. It's not going to help us. It's not going to help us in a way for science to confirm it.
Well, what about species protection and ecological,
It doesn't need protecting. It's a wonderful hider. You barely see them. You can go out and hunt them and never find them. What are you protecting? They can protect themselves just fine. Thank you very much.
I'm also no kill for the record. I'm just, playing devil's advocate here.
But, I mean, just think what would happen, let's say, if science discovered Bigfoot in, of all places, the UK. Next thing you know, there are going to be people in red coats on horses and hounds chasing down the Bigfoot.
I wouldn't live to see it. If they discovered Bigfoot in the UK, I'd be very wrong and would be immediately killing myself out of embarrassment.
No, you wouldn't.
I'd owe too many people apologies if Bigfoot was confirmed in the UK. I'd have to fake my death or something. Go fight crime in Hong Kong.
Would you put on a red blazer then?
Would I put on a red blazer? No.
No, good. Oh, good. Release the hounds.
Release the hounds. You're making a lot of fox hunting references here. I was going to wait until the end of the show.
No, don't worry. We'll just go on from here.
But if you want to do it now, then
no, that's all right. It's okay. I don't care.
No, okay, fine. Okay, so our next story is, of course, Phil's favorite video of the night. Something I believe that we're having this entire show just to talk about this video. It's the legendary 52-second Bigfoot howl captured by a woman watching TV at night. Phil, your thoughts?
I loved it. The first thing that my mind runs to is, first of all, what could it be? But to make that determination, we have to know some certain things. One, where does she live? Does she live like in some a forested area or backed up against a thick forested area where there's known to have wolves running around? Because a lot of it does sound like it could possibly be a lone wolf howling, and maybe and the echo kind of distorts it a little bit, so it doesn't quite sound canine, because it really did not sound canine to me, and it didn't sound like what you would expect a wolf to sound like. Usually the pitch is higher. A lot of times when they start up their howl, they give a couple of yip yip then howl, and I didn't hear that at all. It was like straight moaning, bellowing howl that sounded very humanistic or human-like. So I liked the video. It's very close to what I heard. So, you know, I'm giving this one the benefit of the doubt. I think that it could likely be a Bigfoot in that case.
Huh. I said that it sounded like a wolf or a dog, and it did to me.
Yeah, here, well, you know, there's a certain way that canines sound when their throat closes up. You know, it has that closed up throat sound. It has kind of a squeeze because that's how they get the howl, you know, because they don't have vocal cords.
Yeah.
You know, the larynx and all that operating. So, but with this one, it sounded like a definite vowel sound, which is something very human. You know, humans are the only animals that can give certain vowel sounds other than, let's say, some apes that can emulate different vowel sounds, I should say. But
Right.
And that's kind of what set this off for me. I'm going, whoa, that's good. You know, I went and I just had to listen to it. Like I mentioned already many times. It wasn't the same thing every time. The pitch changed. The vowel seemed to change. The vowel pronunciation seemed to change. There was a lot to it that just didn't sound to me like this is your typical wolf, you know? I don't even know where this is at. It's the problem. I mean, she might be in an area where there definitely is no wolf or no wolves reported at all ever around that area. And that would kind of add another aspect to the evidence, I think. But we don't know.
We don't know. Again, why don't you give it a listen and let us know what you think in the comments.
It's spooky as hell. It's really
video.
cool. It really is. You gotta watch it. It's great.
And again, our final video is, of course, the Bigfoot Tony one. I went on at length last time about how much I adore Bigfoot Tony, and I'm glad that he's back breakdowning. And I am glad. This is a short 4-minute, 45-second video where he analyzes what appears to be a blob running across the screen. Bigfoot Tony likes it. He says that it's moving too fast and knows the terrain too well to be a human. And he does one of his little stabilizations and enhancements where he draws little arrows to point where the footfalls are coming down and speculates that the footfalls are too long for it to be an ordinary human. He finishes his video by assuring us he is alive and well and is back to posting Bigfoot videos.
Oh, he sounds like he was in the same predicament I was.
Probably.
Yeah. I have not seen the video, and I don't know the video of which he speaks. I'd like to go see it.
The link is in the description.
I will have to go look at it. I might have to do a breakdown on it.
Ah, cool.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I don't mind. I don't mind stealing material.
It's Phil's bread and butter. Taking Thinker Thunker videos and showing what he did wrong.
You're just about everything. The first thing he did wrong was posting it.
Really? Not switching on his computer?
Yeah. Well, okay. That's number one. Well, no, number one would be thinking about doing it.
Just like he needs a little Phil on his shoulder instead of an angel that appears and is like, no, don't do it. Don't.
Right. He says, are you a fool? Think of your fans. You're not really going to lie to them again, are you? Don't listen.
Did you see Steve Coulter's post about the Squatchmaster?
No.
Oh, well, I'll send you that link after the show.
Yeah, good old Squatchmaster.
Steve Cole's made a big deal about busting the Squatchmaster. I was like, dude, Phil busted this dude like 10 years ago.
Continually.
continually. Like,
Oh yeah, I think the last time it was, 8 months ago, maybe not even a year ago. And remember, he started making those videos about me, and saying how I confirmed proof that I gave proof that it was a real Bigfoot, all that kind of stuff. I mean, he's my number one fan, I think.
Can't go wrong with that. I mean, Squatch Master being your number one fan, you've made it in the Bigfoot world. That's what I said to him, because Steve Cole said that he'd jumped the shark. And I was like, dude, he's been jumping the shark for years and years. He's a pro shark jumper, an expert shark jumper, if you will.
That's great.
Yeah.
Pro shark jumper.
That's a medal you want to pin on your chest. But anyway, so Bigfoot Tony's back. We will be featuring his videos on this podcast for as long as he makes them. I'm a big Bigfoot Tony fan. And I'm not just saying that because he's a fellow citizen of the United Kingdom. Maybe the EU blocked his videos from going up. Maybe that's where he's been.
Well, that could be.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah. Brexit.
Yeah.
Brexit.
While we're on the subject of fairy tale things we're never going to find.
Oh, well.
Not a political show.
Put her on.
All right, yeah.
Off to the hunt.
Yes. So yeah, Phil has a nice video about the fox hunting on his channel. He's got his own music on it. It's a decent watch. So head on over to his channel, give that a watch and a like. Head on over to his channel and like and watch all his videos. His breakdowns are quality. They're short, direct, and to the point.
By the way, the fox, I'm not gonna. This is not a what do they call it when you give out the ending to a movie? Spoiler. This is not a spoiler, but I will tell you that if you start watching this fox hunt video, it does have a happy ending.
It does. It's a nice video. It's very good.
So don't worry about that.
So, and head on over to the Fortean Slip tomorrow night, where they will be talking about the Min Min lights, an Australian light phenomenon. Forgot how to say that word there. Phenomenon. Matt Nat would still like to hear from you if you have a Bigfoot or paranormal experience. You can be reached at bigfootcrossroads@gmail.com. Head on over to Bigfooting with Keith and Collin, where this week Keith will be trying to cure Colin's addiction to wacky adventures. And that'll wrap us up, I believe, unless there's anything else.
Well, I was just wondering why you say phenomenon rather than phenomenon. Because you do say, instead of aluminum, you do say aluminium.
Aluminium, yes, I do. That's because we invented the language, Phil, and we pronounce it correctly.
By throwing in extra vowels.
Yeah, well, a word can never have enough vowels.
Oh boy, that was a good time. We had a good time.
That was a good time. Yeah. We will return next week, despite the hopes of many. It's good night from me, and it's good night from Phil. Good night.
Good night, and Chris. If Chris was here, he'd say, "See ya."
Oh yes.